Hey guys, what's going on? Sean here again. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. It's going to have a slower pace than what I've normally put out, just because there's more information I'd like to cover. This will be about how I came to become aware of the Mandela effect and kind of how I was thinking as I was learning about it or experiencing it. So before I ever came across the Berenstein Bears phenomenon, which ultimately led to a whole crap ton of other memories that seem to be shared with others, yet the majority of the world says, no, that's not right. Excuse me. So before the Berenstein Bears, this was a long time ago. This was around 98, 99, when I started to come across information that described how physical reality isn't quite what you think it is. That you can literally shift into your consciousness, your spirit, whatever that deeper part of you is, your mind, whatever you want to call it, the I am that's within you, whatever is conscious that makes you alive and makes you know that you are real. That part of you moves into different physical realities. Um, I learned about that. It was explained to me, excuse me, it was explained to me that the shift into an alternate reality, an alternate physical reality, could be so subtle and so slight that everything that you can perceive with your physical five senses would be identical, except maybe one tree in the world is physically located in a different position. Other than that, everything is a match, but that one tree is in a different spot. It could be that subtle of a difference. At the same time, when I was learning about that, it was explained to me that another way to figure out if you've have some experiences that involve moving into a different reality would be to talk to those that you are close with, family or friends that have a common history with you. So an experience, maybe it was, hey, remember on Thanksgiving, like 10 years ago when Uncle so and so like totally like acted crazy and it was hilarious and they flipped out and they were goofing around, whatever it is, some family event from some gathering. But yet, you if you compare your memory to others who were in the room when that happened, you might find that you disagree. That you remember it one way and they remember it another way. And the human logic will say, okay, it's just one of us is remembering it wrong, or we're both remembering it wrong, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. But there'll be situations where it's like, wait a minute, there's no way that our memories could be that far off. So anyway, it was, and back then, I was learning a lot about a lot of things. I know that sounds kind of dumb. Hey, I was learning a lot about a lot, but I was really, really expanding my consciousness. I was like learning quite a bit. And in future videos, I could itemize those, detail them, and whatnot. Depends on what you guys are interested in learning about. But yeah, so one of the things I was learning about is that you indeed can and do change into different physical realities. So that was in my head a long time ago, like the late 90s. I think it was 99, right around there. So yeah, so years later, I have mentioned in a previous video that I noticed that when people bumped into each other in a public setting, instead of like, excuse me or pardon me, things were being said like, you're okay and that's okay, or you're all right. And it was like it happened overnight where I never really heard that. And then I started hearing it one day, and then it was like freaking every day after that, it seemed like I was always hearing it. It became the norm. It became the norm super fast. I was like, wow. Now, back then, I was thinking, okay, what I was thinking is, all right, something's going on. It wasn't just some random coincidence that all of a sudden everybody's saying you're okay when they bump into you. I was like, 100th monkey syndrome. That like not exactly. Let me explain. 100th monkey syndrome. It's been shown that when you have a whole species of ape, that when a certain percentage of that species is able to start to learn how to do a new skill, use a certain like bones for tools, some skill that they learned. Think of a seagull taking a crab and flying way up and dropping it. Boom! It breaks open. And so anyway, something like that. And then once enough of the animals learn how to do it, they all magically can do it. Like, boom! Magic. 100th monkey syndrome. It shows that there's a consciousness connection to an entire species. So I was thinking, okay, it was kind of like on that, but my intuition was telling me it was more like a higher power was almost dictating like a way for people to be. So, like a higher power, something beyond the physical world, is putting a thought into all humans' heads, and then a majority of them will pick up on it. All of a sudden, the human nature changes a little bit, where when you bump into someone in a public setting, they bump into you, they say, "Excuse me," you say, "You're okay." But before you didn't say you're okay, but now you do. And most people do. Something like that. So I just took it as part of reality. Like, yeah, that's what happens. The physical world isn't what it appears. These sort of things happen. And then time goes by, and I notice other things too, along those lines. So let's see. This would be a few months ago. The Mandela effect really got big in 2015. This year now. This is December of 2015. So I became aware of the Berenstain Bears in late August of this year. So, but earlier than that, we'll say, like 6 months prior to that, before I learned of the Berenstain Bears, this would be at the very beginning of 2015, I was learning about human consciousness and expanding your consciousness, the ascension of planet Earth, all kinds of cool stuff. And I was very interested in how the physical world was becoming more and more flexible. It was becoming more and more not in a straight line. It was just things were starting to get more interesting. Now, 1 minute, please. Yeah. So I'm not going to specify exactly how I was learning about shifting to parallel realities specifically, but in the early 2015, about 6 months before I ever caught wind of the Berenstain Bears or the Mandela effect or learned anything about that, I had a light bulb. I had a light bulb. A light bulb went off in my head, a really big one. Like, holy shit! It became, even though I knew in my heart intuitively that this was true, I finally was starting to figure it out in my conscious awareness. Like, I was actually able to put it together and realize, hey, I can actually use this to make life better for me and others. I became more intimately aware of the actual process of shifting into parallel realities by your own desires, your own preferences, that there was an actual way. There was actual steps, actual tangible steps you can take. And I'll be glad to explain those in the future. Tangible steps you can take to change your reality. In fact, I was so excited, even though I never put out any videos on YouTube ever, I quickly got and I don't have this available for you guys now, but I mean, maybe in the future I'll put it out there again. I had it out there for a couple of weeks, and it was me saying, "Oh my God, guys, you won't believe this!" But, like, seriously, like I learned how to like shift my own reality, to shape my own future, and you can actually do it. And there's a way to learn how to do it. I was very excited. I practiced, I played with it, and it was working. Now that's where my mind. That was when I had one of the moments where my mind was blown. Is because my intuition told me, I was like, yes, this is the way to do it, and I practiced it, and it was happening. I was seeing it. Literally from then until now, I'm still on this high. Like, holy shit, it works. Yes, it works. So I wasn't doing this all the time. The fact that I knew that I could do it and it would work, I was content. And I just kind of like, I was on a high for a couple weeks at work, and I was just like, I was on cloud nine. But I'm just like, you know what? Just the fact that I know it works and it's really not that hard, I was happy. Like, I haven't put a ton of effort into it. Think about like praying for like what you want. It's like that, but it's very similar to that. But it can actually work. There's a couple little things you have to do to make it more likely to happen. Again, we'll get into that another time. So I was super excited that I was able to that I learned that that this is something that's real and you can experience it in real time. So yeah, so that was cool. Couple months later, I was learning on a YouTube channel about history before the Great Flood. I also find that very fascinating. And they were talking about the ancient Egyptians and the Great Pyramid. Now, the Great Pyramid I've loved for quite some time. The Great Pyramid, hell yeah, awesome, love it, mysterious, amazing. How did it get built? The precision, the scale is just incredible, 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 incredible. So anyway, I learned a lot about the pyramid. I used to look at it all the time. Studied it, loved it. It was fascinating. It was one of the ways I could explain to others, hey, the world's not what you think, and there was something going on before the flood. Look at the Great Pyramid. That was not just something they built because, well, they were motivated to build it. There was more behind it than just building something because you're motivated to build it. There's unexplainable aspects to the Great Pyramid. Again, that's for another time. So all of a sudden, the strangest thing happened. They were talking about the missing capstone possibly being buried underneath the Sphinx. And I was like, what the fuck? Missing capstone? The Great Pyramid is like freaking awesome with the point and the top. The top's, what are you talking about? Missing capstone. I'm like, holy shit, is this one of those reality shift things? Holy crap, let me check. All right, I paused it. I'm like, I'm gonna look at video photographs of the Great Pyramid. They're available online at least. A couple pictures from a distance. It looked normal. Actually, it didn't look normal. It looked much more worn down than I remember. But the top looked, intact. So I'm looking at the missing capstone, top of the pyramid, Google image, and boom! All of a sudden, I'm starting to see these pictures of a freaking flat top. Some of the pictures have like a metal structure coming out of the top of the pyramid. Like think of an umbrella that got hit by lightning. All you see is the metal. There's no more like plastic. Like that, like a structure, like a partially built metal pole sticking on the top of the pyramid. I'm like, holy shit, no way, that's crazy. A totally different reality that I moved into with the Great Pyramid looking like this, and it was although very interesting and it was unusual, but at the same time it was normal. I accepted it. It fit into what I understood as reality. It was like, okay, interesting. Wow, man, I remember the pyramid looking different. This is nuts. I put on Facebook, hey guys, I don't remember the pyramid looking like this, and I put the picture out. So the Great Pyramid, it just par for the course. And then a couple months after that, I'm looking at parallel realities and stuff like that. Come across, hey, are you from a different reality? The Berenstain Bears. I'm like, what is this? Maybe this will be interesting. What else? Let me check it out. And then there it was. The Berenstain Bears spelled with an A. Holy shit. I quickly looked up all the old photos and videos of old books and cartoons, and it's all Berenstain with an A. And then I realized that there's tons of people flipping out about this. I'm like, holy shit. Definitely was an E, was not an A. So I'm like, yeah, this is crazy, right? A few months ago, it really hit me about shifting into parallel realities. A decade earlier, I learned that, yeah, it's possible and probable. And now the Berenstain Bears, it's in my face. I'm like, holy crap, this is a great segue or a great turning point where I can then talk to people, a lot of people who maybe haven't really thought about physical reality being much more than just what you learn about it in school, and that changing into different realities is actually something that happens to us humans. So the Berenstain Bears was a great way to do it because there are so many people out there who know that they experienced a reality where it was an E and now it's an A. So Berenstain Bears, I'm like, oh my god, this is so interesting. And I know it was an E. I just know it. So I'm like, and then I realized, oh, the Mandela effect. That's kind of what this is. There's an umbrella called the Mandela effect. Berenstain Bears is one of the big points of the Mandela effect. So the Mandela effect, I was like, wow. So what I'll do now is I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to list these common, you've heard it a million times, most of you by now, Mandela effect, anomalies, misremembers, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. And I'm going to tell you how I felt about them very briefly, each one. Not all of them, but just a handful of them. So, got a little list here. Pardon me. All right. So, Luke, I am your father. No, I'm your father. Star Wars. Even though I was like totally thrown off by like when I first read it or first learned about it. Now, I admit that it's reasonable. It would be reasonable that I missed that one. That it was always no, I'm your father, and Luke, I'm your father is what I thought. I swore it was, but maybe that's just what everyone says. And it was actually no, I'm your father. Yeah, maybe. Mirror, mirror on the wall as well. I was sure it wasn't magic mirror on the wall. The hiccups, pardon me. It sounded so funny. Magic mirror on the wall. But again, maybe I just assumed it was mirror, mirror because that's what everyone said. And I hadn't watched that old Snow White enough, to have it like really hit home. Okay, maybe I missed that one. Field of Dreams? Absolutely not. If you build it, they will come. That's what it said, and it said it a lot. That's what it said. If you build it, they will come. It did not say if you build it, he will come. I remember clearly, and I know that because I can clearly recall my experience watching the movie for the first time and how I was trying to figure out what that mysterious message was all about. I have a video about that if you wanted to check it out, about my explanation on how I know for a freaking fact it was, for me personally, experiencing reality. If you build it, they will come. The fact that a whole bunch of shit ton of other people also remembered that, helped me, it really hit home. However, people could have missed it, because of but no, that one, no. It's, no. That one, if you build it, they will come. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, also, no freaking way. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, not this. I heard it a million times growing up. There's no freaking way. There was names that got changed, people's spellings. They look weird to me, Barbara Streisand, Courtney Cox. But again, I didn't see it enough in print. Maybe I just assumed it was spelled the way I thought it was spelled. And yeah, that one, you could easily, justify that, explain it off or whatnot. But Charles Schultz from Peanuts, wow. That one's hard for me to accept that it was not what it appeared to be. That Charles Schultz doesn't have a T. That one was tough because I've seen that from Snoopy. I've seen that in print so many times. It's like burned into my brain. But wow, so that one's tough for me to say that I possibly misremembered it. I am not 100%, pretty damn confident that it was Charles Schultz with a T from my experience in reality. But the name spelling that stands out more than all the others is Rod Serling, creator of the original Twilight Zone series. Love that show. Watched it a million times. Rod Sterling with a T. I'm sure of it. For me, at least, it was a T. And when it changed to no T and it was Rod Serling, oh my God, how strange does that look to me? Really strange. Let's see. Sex in the City, Interview with the Vampire. Was not a huge fan of both of those. I'm pretty damn sure it was Sex in the City, but maybe it was Sex in the City, and I just missed it. Interview with the Vampire seems really strange to me, but maybe I missed it. But those other ones that I'm sure about, I'm sure about. Okay, so I learned about Mandela effect, and I was like, you know what? Famous movie quotes seem to be changing from what I can remember. This is interesting. I'm gonna look up the top 100 famous movie quotes of all time. See if I can see something that looks funny to me, so I can watch the actual clip and be like, whoa, it's changed, because it's interesting to find these. So I'm looking at these famous quotes, and I can find Forrest Gump. And, of course, it's the one about the box of chocolates. I watched Forrest Gump in the movies, and I imitated him a million times. One of my favorite lines to imitate was, Mom always said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And now it was like a box of chocolates instead of is. Wow. I was like, holy crap! And that is just. And then I looked into it, and there's others also who were saying the same damn things. So yeah, I actually there's the MandelaEffect.com if you want a broom, good website that has a lot of information about these topics. I'm like first place I went to is say, hey, what's going on with Forrest Gump? This changed too, and then the next day, I guess I was, the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to enough people pushing for, hey, Forrest Gump has changed, where that was then the like heading of the that web page the next day. So that was really cool. That I was among a group of others who also remembered that differently. This is kind of repetitive stuff. You guys have heard this a million times. I'm just kind of going through like a chronological order of how I was thinking as I was coming across these things. So then I learned that the maps look different. I have other videos about the map changes. And that was, my mind was blown again. There was some of it it just seems off the map, but who knows? But there are some, and I'll list you one that's absolutely no question, it has changed from when I experienced it, and that was Mongolia being in between Russia and China. And China's overall land size relative to the United States overall land size when it comes to their rankings for top 5 countries ever. Just to summarize, I love to study geography and top 5 lists, top 5 largest countries, top 5 largest states in size and population, cities, etc., and so on and so forth. And the biggest 5 countries in the world by size, China was always ahead of the United States, bigger. And you see this Mongolia taking part of China away. I look it up, and China's now smaller than the United States in land size. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's kind of a summary of my experience with the Mandela effect, and specifically that I had learned about the shifting prior, and then when it really hit home and I was starting to like practice it in real time, then all of a sudden a couple months later, Mandela effect, and there's other people talking about the same types of things. So to summarize, please be aware that everybody has their own personal timelines that they exist on, and that there's going to be some people that have things that are going to match up and some people that are not going to have things that match up, and it's going to vary quite a bit. Bottom line is that both parties are going to be right. Party who remembers Berenstein Bear with an A is going to be right. Party who Berenstein Bears with an E is going to be right. You're both right. You're both right. So that's my video. It's a long video. It feels a little bit scattered, but yeah. So you guys have a good one.